Hey you guys, it's Peter, and I'm back. Of course I'm back. I'm not going anywhere. Peace. Peekaboo, I see you because I'm YouTube famous now. Available summer 2023, the album, Dad, Shimmy Shimmy AF. Everybody's doing a brand new dance now. Come on, baby, do the toxic locomotion. Beast. How are you guys doing today? Okay, so I have a few things that I want to talk about in today's video. Are you ready? I actually did not think that I would make it to drama class today. It's Saturday school. Welcome to Saturday school. Y'all have failed out of summer school. Okay, school's getting ready. I cannot believe that school's getting ready to start. My friends, they're like calling me. They're like, oh my God, can you believe it? School is ready to start. I'm ready for the kids to go back to school. I'm like, school's ready to start already. The state fair hasn't even happened yet. Anyway, in Indiana, that's kind of how we time things, is when the state fair like starts and ends is around the time that school starts. But anyway, I know many of you parents out there are very excited for school to start, okay? Now I'm so worried because of my depends joke the other day, my shouldn't yourself joke. I'm so worried. I'm like, can you say Saturday school? Is that offensive? Should you not say that there are parents out there that are excited for their kids to go back to school? Is that offensive too? Like, can we not say those things? We're going to talk about that in just a second. But anyway, I almost did not make it to Saturday school today, okay? Because, and I don't have my trapper keeper, I don't have my protractor, I don't have my calculator, I don't have a number 2 pencil, I don't even have a Scantron test, okay? So, I should have just called in and had a substitute teacher come and run Saturday school today, because I am not prepared, okay? Because I went to the casino with my good Judy Valerini last night. Hey, Valerini, how are you? I had not been to the casino in so long, and we had such a good time, but she didn't pick me up till very late last night, and we didn't get home until very late last night. Now, I did win a little bit of money, which was nice, because like I said, I hadn't been to the casino in a very, very long time, and I don't plan on going for a very long time. So, it was fun, and I had a good time last night, but I was very, very tired. And then, as soon as I got into bed last night, it started like storming like crazy. Well, it had been storming earlier in the evening, but it started storming again. And my little dog, Boo Radley, he is terrified of the storms. And so he was like crawling all over me. And he was like, Daddy, Dad. And I was like, you're going to be okay, Boo Radley. It's just the angels up in heaven. They're just bowling, see? Okay, they're just bowling. So don't worry about it, because he was like scared of that. But then when he knew that it was just the angels and they were just getting strikes at the bowling leagues up in heaven, then he wasn't scared no more. Okay, he wasn't scared no more. So anyway, today I want to talk about a couple things. I want to talk about James Charles. Woo! He came out with his big new brand launch reveal video, okay? His brand is called Yawn. I'm sorry. His brand is called Bored. Bored by James Charles. Actually, his brand is called, Hit Me Up in My DMs by James Charles. No, his brand is called Painted, and we're going to talk about that in just a second. It's falling flat. I think I just looked, and it's like at 438,000 views, which is not a good video for James Charles, especially on his big brand launch that he's been working on for 3 to 5 years. Like I said, okay, you want to come out with a brand launch when you're on the upswing, okay? Not when you're on the down. That's not when you want to come out with some huge thing, right? Okay, so we're going to talk about that in just a second. We're also going to talk about James Charles made a comment on somebody's Instagram, and I think it's very indicative of what most people think about James Charles right now, as you know, on the heels of this Cosmopolitan article that just came out and things like that. But what's interesting is when you go to James Charles' new video for the release of his launch, hey, I'd like to date you. I look 18 years old, and I'm in your DMs right now. That launch of his new brand called Bored, Yawn, okay, all of that, that launch has not one negative comment on it, not whatsoever, okay? I mean, not one negative comment on it at all, which is fine. I mean, I can understand why he wouldn't want people coming over there and calling him the P words and the G words, because he's not those things. He came out in the article and he said he's not those things, okay? I think James Charles, he must have been too busy with that face light that day in school for spelling tests, you know, when you learn about, like, the definitions of words and things like that. He must have been too busy that day in school or those days in school playing with that ring light, because he must have missed the definitions of some words to come out and blatantly say, I'm not these things, when there's absolute definitions to the contrary by major institutions and organizations, okay? But I digress. So anyway, so I want to talk about that, and I want to talk about these comments comments that are contrary to the comments that he's getting on his brand release video. I also want to talk about the fact that Shane Dawson has now changed his video. I think we're up to like 12 or 14 times now that he has changed the thumbnail and the title of his video. By the way, since I got called out for this, I upload all of my videos, like whenever I upload them and I call them new, because it's the new video, right? And then, like, once it's all, like, ready to be published and stuff like that, that's when I put the title on it. That's the last thing I do. So, from time to time, Peter forgets to put a title on his video and just calls it new, which I did yesterday. And so everybody was like, I'm here before the title change, I'm here before the title change. Is this a Shane Dawson move? Are you coming up with new titles and all this kind of stuff? And I was like, okay, this is kind of cute. This is kind of funny. I responded to some of the comments. So anyway, hopefully today's video, I should have just left the title new. That would have been kind of funny. But hopefully this title will not be called new. And I want to talk about that with Shane Dawson because a lot of people are like, well, there's a lot of creators that do this. And Mr. Beast is one of the people that have done this for a long time. And I actually went in and I did a little bit of research. And Mr. Beast has done this for like over the last 10 or 15 years. He's even made videos about it and how it affects the algorithm and things like that. Mr. Beast has not done it 10 to 12 times, 14 times, okay? He's done it like 3 to 4 times. He's not somebody that's done it like, and I went in and I looked, okay? I think there was like one video where he did it like a massive amount of times to kind of like prove a point. But other than that, creators that change thumbnails and titles and things like that, they do it for a certain reason. We're going to talk about that in a second. But there's a couple things that I want to address before I get in this video. And if you don't want to hear me address things about my personal life or about comments on my video, then you can just feel free to fast forward this. I'm sure somebody will probably timestamp it in there. But the first thing that I want to talk about is the fact that I made this video about Trisha Paytas yesterday, okay? Now, I made it very, very clear in that video that I was not discussing Trisha Paytas' past, and I was not going to talk about all the allegations of Trisha Paytas and all this kind of stuff. I've done that, okay? I've done that in many, many videos. I made that very clear in my video yesterday, right? Okay. And I said in there, don't be tagging me on the Twitter, okay, and all this kind of stuff, because I've called her out for this stuff in the past. Now, I want to tell you something that happens when I make a Trisha Paytas video, okay? Trisha Paytas is somebody, she's a very polarizing person on YouTube. She's very similar to Amberlynn Reed, which is one of the reasons why I stopped making Amberlynn Reed videos, okay? Because if you say something in defense of Amberlynn Reed, everybody says, oh my God, you're giving Amberlynn Reed a free pass, and you're obviously an Amberlynn Reed lover, and you defend her, and blah, 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 whatever, okay? If you're being fair to her in one moment in time. One moment in time. If you hold her accountable, then you have a bunch of people that come out and they say, oh, you're an Amberlynn Reed hater, okay? And you're being too harsh on Amberlynn and things like that. Trisha Paytas is very similar to that, all right? That if I say something, you know, that, oh, I like her podcast, or, oh, she should do this, or she should do that, people are like, oh, Peter's giving her a free pass. They don't remember the 25,000 times before that I've held Trisha Paytas accountable. Nor do they ever want to put out a tweet and say, thank you, Peter Monn, for holding Trisha Paytas accountable, okay? They only want to tag me in the times that I don't do it, all right? And I even made it clear yesterday in my video that that video wasn't about that. So why you needed to find the need to go yet again and tag me in a bunch of BS, okay? So let me give you some advice. Number one, I'm going to be blocking those accounts because I have to just be honest with you. I think Trisha Paytas is very problematic in the past. I think Trisha Paytas has been problematic in the past. I think Trisha Paytas has a lot that she needs to own up to. I think Trisha Paytas has a lot that she could change and grow in, okay? I made that very, very clear in my videos. I've been very pointed about those specific things and talked about them, okay? But when I film videos, this is my opinion, this is my commentary on something. I turn my camera off and I move on, okay? I know that y'all have dedicated your lives, even when I'm talking about things of more substance than that, okay? I know that many of you people out there dedicate your lives to just wanting to be on social media and talking about these people 24 hours a day. That is not how I live my life, okay? I don't do that, all right? That's why I tweet out the Christmas countdown and the Halloween countdown. For those of you out there that think I'm joking about that, go look at my Twitter, okay? I just retweeted the Christmas countdown. So, for those of you out there that want to make your lives 24 hours a day about Trisha Paytas, so be it. That's your choice, okay? Do it all you want, all right? More power to you, okay? I think you should start YouTube channels. I think you should start dedicated YouTube channels, and that's what you should do because you're so passionate about it, all right? But if you're not going to call me out on the times that I do hold her accountable and say, thank you, Peter, for holding Trisha Paytas accountable for this, then do not tag me in your BS when you think that I'm giving her a free pass, okay? Because then what you're doing is that you're using me to further your stance. And that is not fair, because I have been very objective to this whole situation, okay? So going forward, if you're going to continue to tag me in your 15 paragraphs where that it's getting no traction and nobody's even reading them, and you want to make it very, very clear that myself and Adam McIntyre, you believe are giving Trisha Paytas free passes, I'm just going to block you, because I'm tired of seeing it, if you want to know the truth, okay? Period. End of story. Now, you want to leave comments on my videos? Feel free to leave comments on my videos, okay? Like I said, I'll typically delete those comments and things like that. So that's the first thing I want to say, okay? And that doesn't just go for Trisha Paytas. That goes for anybody else, okay? Out there, feel free, and like I said, feel free to share your opinion on Twitter once, 2 times, things like that, okay? But when you want to incessantly tag me and stuff on there, and you don't want to say, oh, Peter is a really fair person because he does hold Trisha Paytas accountable, but in this video yesterday, he made it very clear that that was not what the video was about, okay? But then you just want to forget all that and say, yet again, here's Peter Monn giving Trisha Paytas a free pass. No, okay? Listen, this is the standing up for myself era, which we're going to talk about next, okay? And I'm not taking that anymore. So, y'all want to put out that narrative, you're just going to get blocked. And then like you did to Trisha Paytas, you can just throw up a screenshot of me blocking you, and you can say, oh, I got blocked by Peter Monn. Yes, you did get blocked by Peter Monn, okay? Because you wanted to put out a fake narrative. You wanted to put out something that wasn't true, okay? So that's the first thing I want to talk about. The second thing I want to talk about was this depends joke that I made, okay? No, I'm not going to get into this, and I'm not going to make a bunch of jokes about this again, blah, 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 whatever, but you know, there were a lot of people in my comment sections. Well, first of all, I just want to say thank you to everybody that was able to appreciate the humor of the whole situation and the joke, okay? But there were a lot of people out there with chronic illnesses and people that have to wear Depends, people that have taken care of their parents that have to take Depends. One person that even said, thank you so much for this joke, and taking something that for me was a really sad memory of something I had gone through with my mom and making me look at it in a lighter way, which is all I ever try to do in my videos, okay, is to share my opinion and entertain people and help them escape from their daily lives, okay? You know, to the one person out there, I will say this, that was really deeply offended by this. I think there was maybe like 2 comments on the video and the comment that I got that people were like, I'm really deeply offended by this. Peter, had you gone through this? Listen, okay? Now, I don't share a lot about this on my videos, but I think I have shared about it a couple times on my vlogs. When I was getting my master's degree, I was diagnosed with IBS, okay? Irritable bowel syndrome. It was bad. I've talked about the story about how my doctor gave me medicine and I sat at home and I all this kind of stuff, and it was really bad, okay? Let me just tell you, anywhere that I traveled that I had to go, I could tell you where the cleanest bathroom was because I would have to stop at a moment's notice, especially right after I ate, okay? And no, this is probably too much information for you. So don't come over to me and tell me that I haven't lived some of these life experiences as a 51-year-old man, all right? But the way that I do that in my life today is that I take wounds and I turn them into wisdom. I take things that have happened in my life and I make humor out of them so that I can look at them in lighter ways, okay? I have done that with my recovery. I've done that with my addiction. I've done that with my mother's death. I have done that with all kinds of things. I try to look at the funny side of things and the humor side, not to make a joke out of everything, okay? But in all honesty, and I watched that video back, and I watched my video back from yesterday, it was funny, okay? And anybody that's lived through that, it's not a fun experience. On my 40th birthday, my husband, I think, has shared this in a Q&A. I almost did not make it. Another time we went to the casino, I almost didn't make it into the casino, okay? Because it was that bad. So, listen, don't tell me that I don't know what I'm talking about. And to the one person out there that left me the comment, and I almost left me the Instagram message, and I almost responded to this, but then I got this, and I was going to really say, hey, listen, okay, it was a joke. I'm really sorry that you were offended by it. I was going to make a genuine, authentic response to this. But then this person, and this is what I want to tell you, like this is part of what I have dealt with the stalking and things like this through years, okay, is where they take like something, one thing that I said, and then they turn it into this huge thing, and then I get worried, like, oh my God, are they going to make this into a bigger thing than it is? Are they going to expose this? Are they going to say, oh, Peter did this and Peter did this? I am not going to shy away from a depend shitting yourself joke. I'm just not, okay? Period, end of story. And if you are somebody out there, like this gal told me, that she has never been so hurt by watching a drama video, and she cried her eyes out from it, but yet you still follow me on Instagram, girl, why are you still following somebody that hurt you so bad and was so mean-hearted? These are your words, not mine. Was so mean, so hurtful, blah, 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 and that came to you. You need to go back and read your message, first of all. Your message was telling me what I should be doing in my videos, okay? Like I said, and I apparently have to say this a lot, this is Peter Monn's video channel, okay? Peter Monn's going to talk about what he wants to talk about. But I want to say thank you to the people out there that have chronic illnesses like Crohn's disease, like IBS, that have many other diseases that really truly do depend on wearing Depends. And I'm laughing because it is funny and they found humor in that. And they said thank you for making a joke out of it. And I'm part of that community and I can laugh at this, okay? So thank you, all right? We have become like, this is the problem, is that a lot of people are like, we become way too sensitive. We have, and there are some things in this world that we should be very, very sensitive about, okay? There are some things in this world that we need to like really take to heart. And there are other things out there that, listen, I just don't think that are really that deep and that serious, okay? And if you can't laugh at it, or if a joke that I make in my video, like if I make a really inappropriate, insensitive joke and I think it's bad, like, if I had put that joke out there yesterday, and I would have gotten just rampant responses from people that said, Peter, this was not funny, you should have apologized for it. Trust, I would have come back in my next video, this video today, and I would have said, you guys, I really did not realize it wasn't funny, okay? If the response on that first video had been that same way, I would have said, I did not realize it wasn't funny. I need to greatly apologize for this, okay? And I would have greatly apologized from it, and I would have really taken a look at it. But when the majority of the responses that I got were that, oh my God, this was so funny, thank you for sharing this with me, oh my God, I've had IBS, I've had Crohn's disease, I have this, I have that, I've had to wear Depends for years, and I thought this was so funny. When that was the majority of the comments, I was like, okay, thank you. And having experienced similar things myself, and I found it funny, I didn't think there was anything wrong with it, okay? I don't have a problem taking responsibility for making a joke that falls flat or a joke that's not good. Trust me, okay? But if you're so hurt by me, by something that I say, don't follow me, don't watch my videos, okay? I'm obviously not your cup of tea. And I'm sorry, you know, that I hurt your feelings. That was never my intention. My intention was to make a joke. And it made a lot of people really happy, and it made a lot of people laugh, and I'm really happy about that. So I just wanted to say that. Okay, the next thing I want to say is that in response to a lot of the things I've been talking about lately, for example, this, a lot of people are like, Peter, you seem really angry in your videos lately. Like, Peter, you seem really angry. Are you okay? Like, are you okay? I've made this very clear. This is my standing up for myself era, okay? This is me not taking SHI took from people anymore, all right? I'm done with that. I'm done with people painting fake narratives about things and saying things that aren't true about me, alright? Now, I was going to make a whole dedicated video on my Peter Does Stuff channel about this, but I think that this is where it happens, so this is where I need to talk about it, okay? And I want to make this very, very clear. Years ago, you know, I've talked about this on my vlog. There were years that I did not go to meetings, okay? I stayed sober, but I didn't go to meetings. When I came back into the rooms of recovery, and I started to learn to be healthier, okay? And I started having emotional sobriety, which I didn't have for a very long time. I was a very negative, miserable person. And when I started having emotional sobriety again, and I realized I did not get sober to be a doormat, okay? And I started setting boundaries and limits for myself, and I removed toxicity from my life, and I removed chaos from my life. And the people in my life that were negative and toxic, they were gone from my life, okay? When I started setting healthy boundaries for myself from people, and I started standing up for myself, an interesting thing happened, okay? Not on YouTube, but in my personal life, an interesting thing happened. From those people out there that were toxic, that I was setting boundaries with, from those people out there that caused chaos in my life, that I set boundaries with, I started getting very similar responses from all of them. And that was, are you okay? You seem really angry lately. What's going on with you? No, I'm standing up for myself. I've actually never been happier. Do I feel fired up? Absolutely. Do I feel empowered? Absolutely. Am I a doormat today? And I don't know if that word is insensitive or offensive, but that's the word I've used all my life and I'm going to use it today. Do I feel like a doormat today? Absolutely not. Okay? And I'm not going to be going forward. All right? And no, that doesn't mean that I'm angry. I'm completely great. I'm completely okay. But I'm going to address stuff when it comes up. And no, and not in every video. I'm not going to do it. But I need to address things from time to time, okay? And trust me, just like you, I'm kind of tired of addressing this stuff too. So let's stop addressing it, okay? But I want to say this is dangerous, okay? When people start setting healthy limits and boundaries for people, there are people that are threatened by that, okay? And if you're somebody that in your personal life has tried to set boundaries with friends, family members, co-workers, whatever in your life, okay? And you've tried to set healthy boundaries for yourself and the response has been, what's wrong with you? You've changed. Are you okay? You seem angry. You don't seem yourself today. They're threatened by your change, okay? You keep on changing. You keep on standing up for yourself. There are going to be people out there that don't like it. But you know what? There are going to be people out there that do. And there are a lot of people that are saying, I really like the fact that Peter's standing up for himself. And I really like the fact that Peter's gotten a little sassy. Because I have steered away from being that sassy Peter Monn, okay? Because I've been afraid of what the backlash would be. Because it would be, wow, you seem really angry. Which is why I don't do it when every other drama commentary channel out there in the world is sassy, sarcastic, and shady. I haven't been that way, okay? But that's who I am, part of me. Oh, Peter, you preach kindness. Okay, but now you're being shady. So you're not preaching kindness anymore. Those were the comments I was afraid I would get, and I got. Okay? That's why I didn't do that for a very long time. But it's a new day over here, all right? So in your personal life, when you start setting healthy limits and boundaries for yourself, don't let anybody tell you that that's not okay. Okay? Don't let anybody tell you or make you question, because for a very long time when I started setting healthy limits and boundaries in my life, people started questioning that, and then I started questioning that. And I started thinking, wow, well, if these people that I'm setting boundaries with think that there's something wrong with me, that I'm different, then maybe there is. No, that's what they wanted. They wanted me to question that so that I would go back to being this quiet, demure Peter that just tolerated crap from people left and right, okay? That's not who we have to be, you know? We don't have to be rebels and revolutionaries, okay? But we can stand up for ourselves to some degree, okay? We can take care of ourselves. And part of taking care of ourselves is setting the record straight and setting boundaries and limits. And I feel like a more empowered Peter Monn today, okay? So let's get to the next topic. Let's talk about James Charles. So James Charles came out with this new brand, and here it is. It's called Painted, the full reveal. It's currently sitting at... Y'all, I mean, you cannot make this stuff up. Okay, it's currently sitting at 439,000 views. Probably one of his worst viewed videos in a long time. Not one negative comment on this entire video. I can't imagine why. Well, what's interesting is, when you go into the comments, the newest comments, it goes to like 1 minute, and then it skips from 1 minute to an hour. So there's no comments in the last hour, right? Which makes you think that there's probably a lot of negative comments. The other thing I will say that's interesting in here is that I had kind of assumed over time that James Charles' audience had kind of aged out a little bit. Like, I really did. I kind of thought that the interest in James Charles, like from, let's say, 3 to 4 years ago, was that those people at that time were in high school, and now they were in college or graduating from college, going on getting jobs, getting their first apartments, decorating, that kind of stuff, right? Like, some of them getting engaged and married, like, their interest wasn't really in TikTok challenges of James Charles, which is why I thought he was losing a lot of viewership. I didn't just think it was about the cancellation. What was interesting when I was reading through the comments, okay, and I read quite a few of them because I kind of wanted to feel the take on this, and most of it was people saying, oh, James, you inspire me, James, I love you so much, blah, blah, blah. But many of the comments were like, James, I'm in high school. James, I'm a junior in high school. James, I'm a sophomore in high school, and you inspire me. James, I'm a junior. James, I'm a freshman. I mean, you guys, the majority of the comments the amount of comments that talk about being in high school and how James inspires them is so beyond. I was really surprised, okay? Because I thought that it was like hangers-on that had kind of like stuck around and blah, 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 whatever. So I was really surprised when I saw that James still has a huge following that are people that are in high school today, okay? Which is obviously the people that are making excuses for James Charles, his Cosmopolitan article, and what he's done in his past, okay? Because if we're going to say, okay, that James Charles, because a lot of people want to defend James Charles and say that he isn't fully emotionally developed yet because he's not 25, he will be next year, okay? So you can all stop using that excuse next year when James Charles gets himself into more trouble because he hasn't taken full responsibility for his past. So next year, James Charles will be 25, and y'all want to use that as an excuse and say neurologically they're not emotionally developed until they're 25. Well, next year he will be, okay? So we can stop using that excuse for James Charles. But if you're going to use that excuse for James Charles, then his following as well, who the majority of that you see in here is in high school, they're not emotionally developed enough either to really understand the allegations or the implications of those allegations against James Charles, okay? So those people that are defending James Charles, you know, it's interesting when you look at this article like that was in the Cosmopolitan by Gabrielle Bluestone, and yes, I will get her name out there as much as I possibly can because the article was a piece of SHI took and she needs to take it down, and it still hasn't been taken down because it left out so much pertinent information. The fact that she uses this whole defense thing, right, and paints him out to be like a Kardashian and things like that, but then doesn't really reference that the majority of his audience is so much younger, and that's what he kind of leans on and things like that, right, when those allegations are within that age group, is extremely problematic, right? Now, I want to tell you, I think that he probably, I don't know why he's not getting this many views on it. I mean, maybe he should have followed Shane Dawson's lead and changed the thumbnail 15 times or something. I mean, maybe change the title or maybe change the name or maybe changed. That might have been a good start, James Charles, is to just change, okay? To change and grow into a better person. So anyway, so James, okay, that happened with James, but then I want to tell you about this whole situation that happened that was brought to my attention by a couple different people. So James Charles commented on this picture, and it was by Crystal Versace, okay? Crystal Versace, who won RuPaul's Drag Race UK, I think, season 3, okay, and was fantastic on it. So she put up this picture yesterday, and she said Trixie, but made it crystallized, okay? Now, James Charles comments on this, and he says, where are all the comments on here? Oh my gosh. I had all the comments. Where are they at? Oh, darn it. Okay, hold on. A picture of Sally Jessy Raphael. I was watching old Sally Jessy Raphael videos yesterday. Hold on a second. Okay, here they are. Okay, so James Charles comments and says, oh my God. Here, fact check it. Here's the, okay. So he says, oh my God. Now, I'm going to read you the comment straight down, okay? What are you doing here? Dead, hand emoji, clap emoji. When you see James Charles, ... when you see a minor, I'm dying. Never mention, okay. That's the same reaction I had when you groomed minors. Somebody says the P word but spells it differently. Commenting on one of the youngest drag queens posts, fitting for James. I really effing hate you. I mean, it goes on and on and on, okay? Not well received. So you're going to tell me that a post on Crystal Versace's Instagram, okay, gets that much negativity, okay? The Cosmopolitan article that they reshared their article about James Charles on Instagram that I proved in my video the other day, and other drama channels have as well, got tons and tons of backlash and negativity. But James Charles' own video is getting no backlash or negativity. Okay, because he doesn't want his brand to be associated with any of those kind of comments. Which, listen, I totally understand. As a brand owner, I wouldn't either, right? Which is why I think, James, you should have come out and actually gone to therapy, talked about your therapy, talked about these allegations appropriately, okay? And other than put it in a video and take that video down, and then do another video where you talk about these allegations a little bit, but then you blame it on the one commentary channel that you think was to blame for all the fake allegations, okay? That's what you did. You didn't really make any real sincere changes. You also have a lot of friends that stand behind and enable this behavior, okay, to this day. They think it's all funny with these cakes and things like that, right? Okay, so, you know, that's maybe a starting point to this, okay? Instead of, like, deleting all the horrible comments off your video because you don't want people calling you that, maybe actually come out and deal with that. Maybe actually come out and do the work to change, okay? Before putting out a brand when you had to have a PR company bust down doors to even get you to red carpet events, your words, not ours, that because you couldn't get into any red carpet events, okay? What PR company in the world is going to force your brand to be bought by people? They can't, okay? And I have to tell you, looking at your comments, that the majority of your audience is still in high school. It's going to be their parents that's going to be buying your brand, okay? Which is why it's important that people are educated about this. They don't read articles like in Cosmopolitan because of a parent's like, should I buy my 14-year-old, you know, daughter or son this makeup brand by James Charles? I don't know who James Charles is. James Charles, Cosmopolitan article pulls up, and it's a defense piece against James Charles by Gabrielle Bluestone that she didn't do her job and do her due diligence as a research journalist, okay? Which somebody said that's not the title that you use, okay? It's investigative journalist. Research journalist is the title that Gabrielle Bluestone has put on herself. That's what she calls herself, is a research journalist, okay? So then those parents go and they see that article. They don't know who James Charles is at all. And they read the article and they go, oh, well, he's a changed person. I can put money in his pocket. Yeah, it's problem. It's propaganda is what it is, okay? James Charles is just as problematic as he was back then. He hasn't changed. Okay. So then it was brought to my attention that Shane Dawson, this is so comical to me at this point. I almost kind of wonder if behind the scenes, Shane Dawson isn't doing this to kind of just F with people. Because so many people are saying stuff about it and just kind of be funny about it. I thought he would continue to change it. Like, if he had changed it, to be honest with you, if Shane Dawson had changed the thumbnail, like, we're now up to, like,
I think it's like 14 times. I like went in and I counted. I think it's like 12 or 14 times that it's changed back and forth. So like he'll change it, and then he'll change it to something else, and then he'll... Okay, the camera stopped. And then he'll change it back again. So I think the total times of complete changes is like 12 or 14. But I honestly think, because there's so many people, and I'm going to read you here in a second, I honestly think that if like every hour he would have kept on changing it, like my stance would be kind of different about it, in all honesty, okay? Like, at that point... I mean, and this is where Shane Dawson, when people want to talk about what a genius he is, he's not a genius, okay? Because this is where comedic genius would have really come into play. Because when you read the comments, here, let me just read you some of the comments, okay? So when you read the comments, like somebody said, I'm literally so confused why this only has 880,000 views. Like, I know that seems like a big number, but he usually gets millions of views. Literally millions. So what's going on? Why isn't YouTube pushing his video out? Okay, why should YouTube push his video out? Why is that YouTube's responsibility to make Shane Dawson famous? And if you believe that YouTube pushes certain creators, that is part of the problem, okay? Because YouTube has in the past. And the problem with that is that there's a lot of people out there that have 400 subscribers that are working every single day and keeping their thumbnails and their titles in place, and they aren't getting views, and they're busting their asses harder than Shane Dawson, and they are putting highly edited videos out there, not like mine, because I don't edit my videos, but they're putting highly edited videos out there, and they're not getting any traction or picked up by YouTube. So why should Shane Dawson, who had a major cancellation, has taken very little accountability for it, you don't put that in your comment at all, do you? That might factor into the reason why Shane Dawson isn't getting a lot of views, because he has a hard time taking accountability, and he still continues to make penis and vagina jokes in his videos, okay? Did you think about that at all? Okay, alright. So, somebody also, so then it's like all these comments, right? Bestie, why do you keep changing the title? I keep thinking there's a video I missed, which is exactly why he does it, right? And a lot of people have commented on that. Because he wants people to think, oh, it's a new video that Shane put up. So they go back and they watch it, and that counts as a view, okay? Why does the title of this video keep changing and the thumbnail? I keep thinking it's a new video. Here we go again, right? How many times are you going to change the video's title? LMAO, it's not fair. I keep clicking it thinking it's a video I haven't seen yet. This is his MO. These are from his fans. This is from his audience saying this, okay? That the reason that Shane Dawson is doing this is to get people thinking that this is a new video, alright? Wasn't this video called something else the first day it was released? Yeah, it's been called 14 different things. Did you delete the video and put it back up again? Because 2 days ago I searched for it and couldn't find it. Somebody responded and said he just changed the names and thumbnails a lot of times. Somebody said, why was the name of the video changed? LOL, I'm confused. Why did you change the title? I'm just reading these straight through, okay? Why does he keep changing the title, video title? It's a bit weird, like he's trying to find the most clickbait version of the title he can. And if somebody responded and said, super annoying, right? LOL, I keep thinking he uploaded an entirely new video and it's still the cake one. Somebody said, damn it, Shane, will you stop changing the damn title? I keep going to watch it again to show my boyfriend certain parts, and this is the third different title you've changed it to. 14 times now, okay? Joke, love you. And somebody said, damn, quit changing the title. Did he change the title to this like 5 times? 14. Is Shane changing the title every day, or am I tripping? Somebody said. And it goes on and on and on. Okay. So, somebody in here, I went in and looked at the Mr. Beast thing, and somebody said, creators know that a video often performs best just after upload. You can account for this, okay? And this is in defense of Mr. Beast changing his titles and his thumbnails. This is actually very common practice among creators, same as with title changes. I don't know about Mr. Beast specifically, but I assume he does it for all of his videos ever since you can sense he's high on getting views. More views, more money generally. Okay, so this whole thread is about how Mr. Beast, one of the ways that he has gotten to the top is that he changes the titles and the thumbnails of his videos, okay? Well, it's not working, Shane Dawson. You've changed your title and your thumbnail 12 to 14 times, and you're not getting any better views. You're still sitting under 1 million, and you're at like 4 days, okay? People aren't interested in you anymore. They're not interested in this video, obviously. So, this is not working for you. So, when people say that creators do this because it affects the algorithm and it gets them more views, if that is true, okay, and changing your thumbnail and changing your title multiple times, okay, is really helpful to the algorithm and moving your video up, and Shane Dawson has done it 12 to 14 times, and his video is still doing this poor for him, then that must tell you that Shane Dawson is more canceled than he ever thought he was, okay? Now, I will tell you this. If I were Shane Dawson and I was in this position, and I just read you guys like maybe 10 of the comments off the video, there's probably, I don't know, 100 comments on the video about the title change, okay? From his fans, from his audience. If I were Shane Dawson, And at this point, it become this big joke because he's taking it seriously, right? This is where he does not have any comedic genius, and people think he does. I'd change that title literally every hour, okay? I'd have it programmed to change every hour. That's what I would do. And I would make a joke out of the fact that I have been changing it, okay? Because like I said at the beginning of this video, that's how I deal with things in my life, okay? I use humor. And I don't have a hard time laughing at things and mistakes that I've made in my life and maybe poor choices that I've made and things that I've done. I don't have a hard time laughing at those things. Yes, some things are very serious and too serious to laugh about, okay? You know, there are a lot of things that I don't ever talk about in my videos to make jokes about, okay, on any of my channels. And I've talked about that on my vlog. There are things that are very funny. I've lost many friends in my life to very serious diseases, okay? Those are things that I don't laugh about in my life, okay? But changing a thumbnail 12 to 14 times, that's funny, okay? That's very funny. And if I were Shane, I'd make a bigger joke out of it than it is, and I'd change it every hour for the next 5 days. And I'd let people just like, that would get people to go watch the video. They'd be like, oh my God, what's the next thumbnail gonna be? What's the next title gonna be, right? He could even title one of them new after my video. People would love it. They'd be like, oh my God, Peter called Shane out and he titled his video new and everybody said he's the new Shane Dawson. I'm gonna call it new. He could even call it number 15. You know, there are so many things he could do with this to make it this big joke because your video is not cute and nobody really loves it except for your diehard fans. So if you really want to draw attention to your video, and this is all marketing, which it is, totally all marketing, you're afraid of not getting the views, turn it into a marketing joke. Start changing. I mean, I think that would be funny, honestly. I would get in a video and live, okay? I'd be like, this is hilarious, you guys. Shane Dawson has changed his title 32 times in the last 4 days. I would live. I think that would be so funny. So anyway, just a little advice. Not saying Shane Dawson needs me for his career. Anyway, let me know what you think about all of that in the comment section below. I do want to say one last thing, okay? I know I've addressed some very serious things in my last couple videos in this last week, and trust me, it has taken a toll on me as well, okay? We are getting to the end of July, and I am ready in August to have some fun and get back to the lighthearted commentary that I do in my videos. Yes, I think it's important to talk about the dark stuff. Yes, I think it's important to talk about the important topics, and we will continue to do that over here, okay? When it is important, when it is timely, and when it happens, and when I feel the need to do that, okay? But I'm not going to address comments on all of my videos. I'm not going to continue to address people saying this or saying that, okay? Listen, I've stood up for myself enough. I think people know this is my channel, okay? It's going to continue to be my channel. It ain't going to be Judy Smith's channel anytime soon, okay? Or Sally Joe's. This is Peter Monn's channel. It's going to continue to be Peter Monn's channel. But I don't need to say that in every video, and I don't need to address comments in every video of mine. So if you're somebody that's getting tired of that, trust me, I am too. I just said a few things I felt like I needed to say in today's video, and now we can move on, all right? So I hope that you guys are having a fantastic weekend. I love you guys so much, and I'll see you tomorrow. Bye.